This video is brought to you by Anti-Gravity Lithium-Ion Batteries, used by Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha and Monster Energy Kawasaki and many more teams. And you can use the same battery as Eli Tomac, Jason Anderson, and others. Anti-Gravity batteries offer more power and capacity than the competitors because they give you a larger lithium battery pack. But additionally, they offer features like the world's first batteries with built-in jump starting that will never leave you stranded. So check them out at antigravitybatteries.com.
Hey guys and gals, what's up? I'm Kris Keefer. Welcome to Racer X. And today we are at Glen Helen Raceway for the Dunlop tire intro. More specifically, the Dunlop MX14 tire, and that is a scoop tire. So if you guys know Dunlop's range, we have the Dunlop MX33, 53, as well as this MX14, which is a sand scoop tire. So coming from the MX12, we just skipped that number 13 because that's bad luck. And now we are on the Dunlop MX14. We're going to ride this thing here today, give you some information, a little backstory about the scoop tire and what the differences are between the MX12 and the MX14. All right, so if you guys aren't familiar with the scoop tire, basically it looks like a paddle tire. For you guys going out in the dunes, you guys have the paddle. Well, for us moto guys that have soft conditions, this is the tire of choice. Now, previously, the MX12, you could get in a wide range of sizes, but now with the MX14, they even have mini bike sizes. So 65, 85s will now have a scoop MX14, which is really cool. And from what I've heard Dunlop explain today in our little intro that we had, it's a brand new tire from the ground up. So they just didn't remake the MX12 and put some revisions into it. They actually started this tire from the ground up. It has an 18% longer tread pattern, so it's a little bit of a taller knob with a little bit of a reinforced carcass as well as a reinforced knob on the backside. I'm sure you guys can get a close-up of the tire. It has two ribs on the backside to keep that scoop from bending and flexing too much. So a lot has gone into this tire. Clark Styles, as well as, if you guys remember, Jesse Wentland, he was an AMA professional for many years, as well as Clark. They are the R&D riders in Huntsville, Alabama, where the proving grounds are for Dunlop. And they've been doing a lot of testing with this tire for about almost 2 years now. So what Brock Glover told us here today is Dylan Ferrandis and a lot of other guys were on this tire, Red Bud, in 2021. So a lot of guys have been riding with this tire since, I don't know, a little over a year now. So comparing the MX12 to the MX14, what you're getting is a new tire from the ground up. They just didn't put revisions on the MX12 and say, hey, we're going to make it a little bit better here and there. No, this tire was brand new from the start. An 18% longer tread pattern, which means that scoop's a little bit taller. They got reinforced carcass. They actually got a reinforced ribs on the back side of those knobs to actually just make it a little bit stiffer, so when it does bite into the ground, especially when the transition gets to hard pack, that knob is a little bit better. Now, if you guys notice, the MX14 does have a little bit wider of a contact patch than the MX12. Now, you guys are saying, Keefer, it's a 120, 80, 19. It's the same size. Well, within that sizing, they're allowed some wiggle room. So, for example, the Pirelli scoop tire was a wider contact patch on a 120, 80, 19 versus the old MX12. Well, now MX14 has a little bit wider patch, which for me is better when the track gets a little bit hard. So, if I can just layman's terms for you guys out there wondering, hey, is it better or not? For me, it is a better Dunlop scoop. Chances are I'm going to go ride this scoop with other scoops back to back later on. But right now at Glen Helen, they did a great job of disking this dirt. And you guys are thinking, Glen Helen, there's no way it's soft enough for the scoop tire. You're wrong. This is where this application is really mind-blowing. You think, hey, it's a scoop tire, it's only good in sand, really soft conditions, but that's not the case. Here at Glen Helen, we have soft straightaways, and in the corners where there's lots of sun beating down on it, we don't have a lot of trees here, it gets baked out. So what we do is we come in those corners, and it's nice and soft dirt, and then about 11:30, there's about a foot rut, and then in that rut is just rock hard with rock. So the MX12 version wasn't really good in those areas on lean angle. Now with the MX14, what I felt is I have more tire contact feel on lean angle, and for me, even though the carcass on paper may be stiffer, I feel like there is more comfort within this tire, especially on slap down landings. Another portion that is improved for me here at Glen Helen, because I have ran the old MX12 tire at some races here, is on braking. If you guys know, when you have a scoop tire and you go into a corner and you slam on the rear brake, there's a lot of slide. So now that slide has been minimal, and it's actually a little bit more grabby in the rear. So if you guys are a rear end steering rider and you guys go to slide your rear end around, there's less of that. So maybe that's not the right choice for you. But if you're a front end steering guy like me and you like a lot of rear end grip, this scoop is much better as you pivot the rear end around. It's more predictable for me. So there are some differences for me between the MX14 and the MX12. I'm going to continue to keep riding this thing on other tracks here in Southern California, but Dunlop has done a great job to evolve their line. I've ran MX12s for a little over a year and a half, and if you guys haven't ventured over into the scoop tire realm yet, and you guys ride soft to intermediate terrain, give it a try. You'd be really surprised of how well you can get off the start with it. If you guys have Vet B class and all these guys are running Dunlop MX33s, I can tell you what, if you're on an MX14, you're going to pull these guys out of the gate just because it simply gets that traction, that rear end feel that you want out of the gate. Now, if you're on a concrete start, this isn't the best tire for concrete starts, a little bit slip. But if you guys are on grates or dirt, very good tire. Make sure you do put your hole shot vise a little bit farther down. I run mine about 130 millimeters, by the way, 130 millimeters down when I do run a scoop. So you guys do got to change that for the tire that you run. All right, I brought my kid here. As you guys know, 16 years old. There's not a lot of information that's going to be given here, but I'm sure there are 16-year-old kids out there that watch YouTube. Racer X is on YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed, do that. Like, subscribe. Isn't that what you guys say nowadays?
Like, subscribe, and turn notifications on.
Okay, so this is what we do. So 16 years old, you're used to riding the Dunlop MX33 tire. So give the people out there that may not know a lot about scoop tires, what's the difference? What do you feel when you switch between an MX33 rear and now an MX14?
Well, coming off an MX33 rear, it doesn't really get on top of the sand as well as the scoop tire does. Like, if for you back east guys that are riding in deep conditions, this tire would be the best tire for back east. Like Loretta's, just any track back east probably.
Any track.
Any track. Any track.
Colorado.
Any track.
So basically, if you're an MX33 guy, when you roll on the gas out of a corner, it's going to spin a little bit more. With this MX14 rear tire, it doesn't spin as much, so you just get on top of that sand a lot quicker. So for me, when I have an MX14 versus a 33, when I roll my throttle on, I don't have to get on it as much. I can just kind of be smoother because my tire gets on top of the sand more. I guess, does that basically explain it?
Yes, you just explained it into 16-year-old terms.
All right, so MX33. Good, soft to intermediate. This MX14 tire is really good to sand to softer conditions. Again, even when the track does have hard spots, let's try to paint you guys a picture at home. Hey, Keefer, it's soft everywhere, but there's 3 points of the track that are just baked in hardpack. If it was me, I would still take an MX14 tire and make up that time within all of that sandy, soft stuff versus that hardpack stuff, because there's 3 points, areas or corners of the track that are hardpack. This tire isn't that bad if you compare it to MX33. If I can give you an example of where the MX33 is better in those 3 spots, I would say lean angle within the rut, and that it doesn't have that movement that this may have a little bit. So MX14 does have a little bit of movement and slip on lean angle and extreme hard pack, but there's not that much difference between the two. So I would suck it up a little bit and go with the MX14 just because I can get faster times within those areas that allow this tire. So hopefully that explains a little bit at home the differences. But for me, we have a race coming up here at Glen Helen on Sunday, and it's going to be hard packed after 12 o'clock, and I still am probably going to run the MX14 simply because I can get off the gate better. We did starts today, and you lost.
I did. I got third. I lost.
I beat my kid. So that's how many? 2 more times I beat you. Exactly. Pingree won, actually. Good old Racer X's ex-employee, David Pingree, won, but I missed the shift. That's why I won. That's what I'm going to claim. But off the start, man, when it's deep, it gets out of the gate really well.
It does get out of the gate really well. And they prepped the gate really soft, so you kind of spun a little bit.
So you spun less with the MX33. So I have an MX33 here. I'm going to try back-to-back and do some starts. We're going to go out here and ride a little bit more, but you can go back to KeeferIncTesting.com. I'll write some info on there, or you can simply email me, Chris@KeeferIncTesting.com, and I can tell you more about this scoop tire. But Dunlop has evolved this tire. It's a little bit of a wider platform. You can ride some more of a hard pack feel out on the tracks. It's noon here, and as you know, when noon comes around to Glen Helen, it's not that soft. We haven't got any rain. We don't know what rain is here in Southern California, so it does get hard pack and baked. But as you guys see in the video, it is pretty soft. We have Marvin Muscan right now riding this tire, and it's noon, and it's hard pack. And I had a little conversation with him today that he actually prefers this tire a little bit more, even when the track kind of goes too hard pack. Same with Antonio Caroli. If you guys watched him this year when he came over and raced, he preferred the scoop even when the track didn't really favor that tire. He preferred that. So obviously he was on a different brand, but nonetheless, if you guys haven't tried a scoop tire, you might want to give it a chance, and you actually will really be surprised. So don't forget, 12 issues, $30. As you guys know, I always say this at the end of the videos. There is a publication, Racer X. Get a free prize. It's always good to read something different, not just watch videos. Get off your phones once in a while, talk to each other. It is fun, trust me. Stay tuned for more videos here on RacerXOnline.com. It is 2023 season, so new bike tests rolling along. We'll see you on the next test.